Welcome to Hairy Man History. Today, this historic newspaper article comes back to life. In Winsted, Connecticut, a stagecoach full of passengers came face to face with a hairy giant, sending them into a frenzy of panic and chaos. Was this a pharaoh man lost to the wilderness? A creature of myth? Or just another strange tale of a backwoods legend? Let's dive into it. This article comes from the Lewiston Evening Journal, Friday, August 30th, 1895. A hairy giant, Connecticut's wild man, appears unto the Winsted stage. The Winsted Light Guards under arms in the town hall. A singular excitement produced by a probable maniac. Winsted, Connecticut, August 30th. Yesterday afternoon, Hall stage left Colebrook for Winsted, and the passengers and drivers encountered the wild man at close range. Most of them were badly frightened at the apparition, and the broadside of rifle, horse pistol, and revolver bullets discharged at him went wide of the hairy target, which only defiantly roared and snapped his long white teeth at them. Montgomery Shepherd was on the box of the stage. He has driven over the route every day for years and fears not man, beast, nor catamount. In deference to the apprehension of his passengers, he carried a huge Navy six-shooter between his knees, all ready for a shot. There were 5 passengers, one of whom was a woman, Mrs. Macy Hitchcock of Cornwall Hollow. One of the men was a Philadelphia drummer who had a loaded double-barreled duck gun. Another was Mank Liederquist, who has hunted wild men in Texas and Wyoming and was armed with a Winchester, which has 9 notches upon its stock. Each notch, Mank says, represents a wild man gone to his account. The stage bumped quickly along the road between level fields for a mile or so, and then plunged boldly into Pamunkey Pond woods. The tense look upon the passengers' faces heightened, and they all gripped their firearms as though afraid that they might take to themselves wings and fly away. Nothing appeared. Over the slope to Burr Mountain and across the log bridge which spans Pickard Brook, they went in safety. But the security was only apparent. At a point about 6 miles from Colebrook, there is a rough clearing with a cabin in the middle, which has long been abandoned. As the stage approached the hut, Mank Liederquist exclaimed, "See there, in the yard!" And as the words left his lips, the sharp crack of a Winchester was heard. At the same moment, a grotesquely hideous form sprang over the fence and crouched in the road. Everyone recognized it as the wild man. The horses tried to wheel around and run away. Great and hairy the maniac looked. His mouth was wide open and lined with bristling teeth. His eyes were fierce and bloodshot. A matted growth of hair was on his head, and the beard was fully 3 feet long and blown around by the wind. A rag of cloth was about his waist, and the great claw-like hands were full of what seemed to be rhubarb leaves, which the wild man had probably found and was eating in the deserted garden. Liederquist fired again, and the driver sent a shot from his revolver. If either hit, there was no sign. The Philadelphia drummer sat like a carved image, petrified with fear. But plucky little Mrs. Hitchcock grabbed the duck gun, braced the butt against the back of the seat, and pulled both triggers. The first charge tore up the highway in a cloud of dust. The second reduced the ears of the high horse to ribbons. Crack, bang, crack went the rifle and pistol, while the horses jumped so that they nearly upset the stage. Then the wild man, with a growling roar, made a bound which took him to the side of the road. Another carried him over the fence, and in a succession of strange, uncouth leaps, he crossed the clearing and was presently lost to sight in the woods. After a while, Driver Shepherd succeeded in getting control of the horses and whipped them into a frenzied gallop that brought them within sight of the friendly steeples of Winsted in less than an hour. It was a pale-faced lot of people who climbed down from the stage at the post office door. Mrs. Hitchcock was the most self-possessed, and she told the story. The Philadelphia drummer had to be carried to the hotel and put to bed. Mank Liederquist declared to the assembled townspeople that it was no wild man at all that they had seen, but a gorilla that had years ago escaped from some circus menagiri. The Winsteaders laughed him to scorn. Last night, the Winsted Light Guards were under arms at the town hall, and all the citizens were ready to turn out when the fire alarm bells should give a certain signal. And there you have it. The legend of the Winsted Wild Man remains. I hope this one's got you tipping your hats. If it did, fire off a like for me. I'd be much obliged. Whether this was some kind of walking oddity, an early written record of a Bigfoot sighting, or just a case of 19th century hysteria, stories like this remind us that our past is full of mysteries, just waiting to be uncovered. As always, keep searching, keep questioning, because the answers are out there. Until next time.